Sisters engaging everyone. We inspire you to be the best that you can become. Uplift and empower you with stories we share. No one else can compare to Sisters engaging everyone.
Hello, and welcome to Sisters Engaging Everyone. Come on in and join me because today is poetry time. It's Thursday, and not only is it poetry time, today is a special day for me because it is my dad's, or it was my dad's birthday. God bless his soul. And I am rocking one of his old flannel shirts that I love. It's one of my favorite shirts of all time. So he is near and dear to my heart. But before we get going with today's poetry, I do need you to hit that like, subscribe, and share this video. Also, hit that notification bell. It will let you know each time I drop a video. So, before we get started, I want to explain some things about poetry, some ways that you can view poems. And one is called the metaphor. Of course, I'm sure you've heard of that. A metaphor is like this: my love is a rose. And then you have a simile. My love is like a rose. You see the difference? A metaphor is my love is a rose, and a simile is incorporating the word like. My love is like a rose. And then, of course, symbols, which would be, O rose, thou art sick. So you're using the rose as a symbol. Okay? And then conceit is the analogy between the girl or person and the rose. Examples, which is what I just told you, when using the word is in a poem is a metaphor. When using the word like in a poem is a simile. When using an object in a poem, it's a symbol. Okay? Now we talk about couplets. Couplets are when two lines rhyme back to back. Okay, just very simple. And then there are the three things, the basic notes and tones in our English language. So number one would be the short, simple sentences, which include the noun, the verb, or the object. Examples are, your hands are like rain. And then number two would be loose sentences that have applause. An example of that would be, your hands are like rain, your eyes are butterflies, and your nose is a mountain. And three would be periodic sentences. Example, when it's snowing and the schools are closed and Vegas is only 4 hours away, let's elope. Okay? So if you didn't know, now you know. These are some ways to view poems. Okay? So we're going to get going with Al Young's Something About the Blues. And because I'm honoring my dad, I thought, why not the blues? Okay? I'm sure he would appreciate some blues. The epigraph is all about blue. Sky blue, ocean blue, lake blue, ice blue, blood blue, vein blue, neon blue, flame blue, periwinkle blue, steely blue, nipple blue, royal blue, true blue, moon blue, midnight blue, mountain blue, snow blue, powder blue, algae blue, devil blue, heavenly blue, blossom blue, Nile blue, stocking blue, moldy blue, radiant blue, electric blue, shadowy blue, twilight blue, navy blue, star blue, movie blue, misty blue, ribbon blue, fox blue, feather blue, eye blue, thigh blue, grass blue, jazz blue, and on into the blueness of your very essence, not to even mention exclusively human kinds of blue. That's a lot of blues, guys. Blue, blue, blue. Now, I would read the introduction, but it is lengthy, and I will put it up here just so you can see. It talks about a lot of different artists, all kind of artists. I'll give you an example. It talks about Louis Armstrong, Memphis Minnie, Jelly Roll Morton, Robert Johnson. I mean, it lists them all. Marvin Gaye, the Imperials, the Flamingos, Ella Fitzgerald, Jimmy Smith, the Neville Brothers. It says, beaded and threaded throughout America's musical mosaic, the blues make you feel and hear. Sometimes you can count them off in measures and beats, but largely they dwell in a feral state. Blues truth is wild and menacing. Like poetry, the blues will always be dramatically unpredictable, sometimes torturous and sometimes pleasurable. Ever resistant to classroom analysis or the glacial and evasive systems of calculus, the blues stay new without passport or visa. The blues remain ubiquitous. They sneak and snake, worm, winnow, bogart, and charm their way across all borders and bypasses. And once again, mentions several artists. I mean, this whole paragraph is full of all kind of artists. This paragraph right here is full of all kind of artists. And it says, the incrucible radical of music, the blues defy and accommodate all takers and givers. That is, all listeners and dancers, all players and singers. There's plenty to be said about a nation that has given our world and blues a national culture, whose signature tonality continues to be the blues. All combined, these wayward pages say something about the blues. As early as 1947, in a second grade classroom at the Kingston Elementary School for Colored in Laurel, Mississippi, Ms. Chapman, my tireless and inspired all-day second grade teacher, was smuggling down to me the majesty and magic of poetry and blues. An unrepentant and dogmatic Afro-Christian who regarded the blues as devilish. Miss Chapman nevertheless forced us to memorize poems, especially works by colored writers. The class day began with us singing Lift Every Voice and Sing, sometimes called the Negro National Anthem, which segued into the Star-Spangled Banner. Later the day, as we moved from writing, arithmetic, manners, history, geography, hygiene, music, and literature, we pupils stood in front of the class to recite the stuff we memorized. I can never forget the wound the poem's sound delivered. The singer stopped playing and went to bed, while the weary blues echoed through his head. He slept like a rock or a man that's dead. Just as Ida Cox's classic song reminds us that wild women don't have the blues, so these pages I hope will remind you that the world that dead men don't sing. Again, the introductory, I just kind of whizzed through all of the artists that he named. Now, this very first one, it says, The Weary Blues by Langston Hughes. Drowning a drowsy, syncopated tune, rocking back and forth to a mellow croon. I heard a Negro play down on Lenox Avenue the other night by the pale, dull parlor of an old gas light. He did a lazy sway, to the tune of those weary blues. With his ebony hands on each ivory key, he made that poor piano moan with melody. Oh, blues! Swaying to and fro on his rickety stool, he played that sad, raggy tune like a musical fool. Sweet blues coming from a black man's soul. Oh, blues! In a deep song voice with a melancholy tune. I heard that Negro sing that old piano moan. Ain't got nobody in all this world. Ain't got nobody but myself. I's gwone quit my frowning and put my troubles on the shelf. Thump, thump, thump went his foot on the floor. He played a few chords, then he sang some more. I got the weary blues and I can't be satisfied. Got the weary blues and can't be satisfied. I ain't happy no mo', and I wish that I had died. And far into the night he crooned that tune. The stars went out, and so did the moon. The singer stopped playing and went to bed. While the weary blues echoed through his head, he slept like a rock or a man that's dead. That was outstanding. That was Langston Hughes. Now this next one is called Dawn at Oakland Airport. Aggression keeps arriving but almost never departs. As quiet as it's kept, greed pops along for the ride. Do you need James Brown hollering in your ear at 6 a.m. when you've gotten all of 2 hours sleep? Misread your itinerary and coldly missed the flight? I can't stand it either, James. The Godfather of Soul and all the other Godfathers share a mission this morning, and that's to put another hit on peace and quietude. You don't need no Johnny Cash, no saxophone quartet version of the Temptations, my girl, no Goldfinger, no Ring of Fire, no Earth, Wind, and Fire, doing Hearts Afire, no jaunty disco deco from the decadent 70s. What you need is Z's and more Z's, Zambia, Zanzibar, and Guananejo, no Canal Zone, Zone 51, UFOs, out of here, out of earshot, surely. And when two advancing armies in the war on silence conjoin, when the foreground music of Gate 10 crisses across Gate 8's background music, you know no zone can ever be demilitarized again. Green, brown, the hills that ring, this eastbound underdog airport can't compete. And sky, oh lazy, hazy sky of summer, what brings you here in April? The sky is battling too. Give us Slim Harpo. The sky is crying. Look at the tears roll down the street. Give us liberty to choose your death. The breath you hold whispers the unspeakable. Can things actually get any worse? Yes, Seth Phoenix. Yes, Seth Las Vegas. Los Angeles says yes, and Houston agrees. By the time you get to Newark, maybe the sopranos and all the electric pianos in the world would have gone on break. Somebody was tired and didn't want to hear no more music, no more blues, okay? A poem for listeners. If uplifting those fanning ears, the elephant can hear ultra high frequency mating calls placed from miles beyond the deafening sky, then why can't sultry laughter like yours, all piquancy and sass, take off? The rumble of it sometimes makes its way to parts of me I long to tour but haven't. In shiny ring within ring, the satellite brightness of your laughter lights heaven at hand, out circling itself like a rock dropped into a pond. If Ravi Shankar could hear the gauche of anguish washing through Saint Coltrane's cries, or if Ravo could hear the gypsy strains of Spain that ruffled his composure a borderline away, or if bats can hear the sound of fruit flies walking, and if every city makes and leaves its own sound print, then tell me, with your next hard laugh, what animal ancestor of ours flowered in the sound of the note the chord never needs to round itself out, but takes in thankful, unpack, relax, and I'll tell you another. That was kind of deep. I don't know, I think I have to go back and read it again, but that was kind of deep. Okay, this next one is called Love Listening to Lionel Hampton Play the Vibro Harp. Making love listening to Lionel Hampton play, every lick counts, every quiver socks in and registers, adding it up. And push yourself on me, and I accept every morsel with a sign. In this indulgent performance, cliche don't stand a chance. Your heart, as raw as sand, leaks into every pore. Love opens up, as if, as if, as if, as though this might be the last time we can dock and beach each other in perfectly legal splendor. Oh, how the jibe that late at night and sultry vibes, the walking, the living dream has nothing on you, who moves naked through our minds. Please don't explain. I wasn't there in Spain with you, but don't forget I too know the kind of home you make in Rome. And who blame him? And who could blame him? The smart senor, his savvy lust, his taste of tourist goods. In this resonant moment, Hamp is heaping it on, picking him up and laying them down, he say. And you are every chorus, every bridge, every intro, and every memorized or fake. And still somehow it all spills out, a rush. It all pours out original. It's okay that you can't dance. I can't either. We know the steps though, don't we? The dips, the move, the gracious, out of fashion, quantico. So when we drag and drop all pretense, passion sounds. All right. This is called Ars Poetica. All that we did was human, stupid, easily forgiven, not quite right. Gary Snyder. Now that nothing has worked out and the beautiful trees are again in winter, feeding on lean November light, the world like the cold, tentative yet tight around his skin, his heart, about to pound right out of him, he can linger on his corner again, unnoticed, another dude in another street, waiting for someone to keep an appointment in the frozen belly of a large city. No string quartets, no studio brass bands to grace the meaningless background, only the warmth of personal sun, a blossoming peace stretching out in the soft folds of his brain. She arrives in a living photograph, her everyday breath streaming the air warm undercoat and sweater, simple skirt, boots, the color elastic of her pants underneath snapped snugly into place at waist, at the thigh. Well, all right then. This last one is titled, You Catch Yourself on a Train with Yo-Yo Ma for Carrie Winter. You catch yourself on a train with Yo-Yo Ma. Dapper sucker that he is, Yo-Yo's got his cello all packed in advance, and as always, he is dressed, if not to the nines, then certainly to the sevens and eights. You can feel all that Bach, all the Beethoven, all the jazz and tango and Kalahari Bush people pouring out of him, all the beauty and sadness he has spent his whole life attending and exploring. Suddenly, you hear yourself say, "Hey, yo," on TV. Well, actually, it was the back seat of your friend's car where their toddler was strapped. All the way from Vermont to Quebec, you heard this soundtrack. A kid show where some kid stepped up to him, yo, and then just grinned and blushed. It took another character to roll it out for the dumb toddler. It isn't yo mama, it's Yo-Yo Ma. But it didn't matter. By the time you got to play whatever they arranged, you scored. When I asked why you, the great cellist, were riding a train, you smiled and said, "This is Japan, my man. Not only do the fast trains work and run on time, they separate and segregate into cell phone cars and no cell phones allowed, like you have smoking and no smoking in the States. Even a cellist needs a cell phone now and again, but on a journey like this, I need silence and solitude. You got it? You get it? You sit way back and shut the hell up." Kind of sound like attitude to me. But anyway, guys, we're going to put a pin in it and pick some more up later on next time, because these are a little deep and I want them to sink in. Okay, if you like, you can purchase the book. This is an older book, and as I said before, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but it also comes with a CD for those that might want to just listen and reflect if you didn't catch it through my reading. All right. Once again, we at Sisters Engaging Everyone appreciate all of you for rocking with us. We see you, visionaries. We wish you nothing but the best, and we want you to know that you are blessed on purpose. And with that being said, enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.